Zilch left, 35 Wichita Macho
Dice
Toe.
right, F5.
Dice right numbers, 3 Jet Spielberg.
Ready? Right. All right, and welcome back to the Pre-Snap Pressure Podcast, episode 20. Regular season is over. It is on to conference championship week. We got a great episode in store for you. Ryan, how are you doing on this snowy evening or snowy day where we are?
You know, it would have been worse had Texas not beat Texas A&M, but you know, it's been pretty good. I will say, I'm a little bit upset at my apartment. They shut down my shuttle service at 12, and my first class was at 11. So I literally got on the shuttle, had to leave my class early, and then go back home. I was like, it was a bit of a frustrating experience. Had to leave my lecture hall of 400 people.
Hey, but there's snow, so
That's cool. Yeah, that is cool. But maybe next time, you know, cancel classes. How about that?
not the person to take that up with. So
Yeah, it's my joy.
Anyways, all right, moving on to the top 5 from Week 14. Honorable mention to Jeremiah McClellan for what I think should have been ruled a catch that was not ruled a catch. Ryan, what do you think? If you even know what I'm talking about.
That's really close.
I said my reaction, I was like,
that's pass interference in the first place.
That's a literal impossible call to make.
Yeah, I'm fine with how they call that either way, but it's pass interference. I don't know what the ref is looking at.
I'm mainly just giving it a top 5 because he kept that pin for so long, and this is even a discussion.
Oh yeah, no, it's sick. Don't get me wrong. If they called that a catch, that's the coolest. Yeah, no, that's incomplete. Ball's moving. But I mean, that's sick. He still made the play, so
as near catch for honorable mention.
Yeah, it's still impressive that he made it a question.
This is probably number 1 if that's a catch. All right, anyways, moving on to number 5 is Cal for spoiling SMU's season, and coming to play without a coach. First game after firing their head coach, interim steps up and beats SMU to knock them out of the ACC championship game in a pretty much empty stadium. So good on Cal.
Yeah, that's what rivalry weekend's all about, man. I don't even know if these two are rivals.
That ain't no rivalry.
They might be now.
That ain't no rivalry.
They might be rivals for now. I mean, Cal just went in there and took care of business like they were the ones looking for a playoff spot. And Sagapulutele had a phenomenal game. I'm sure I botched that name. So hard.
That guy's gonna get a couple bucks in the portal, or somebody's gonna flash a couple bucks at him in the portal, and it's gonna be up to him
yeah,
to take it or leave
he's definitely gonna get some portal looks. Now, the fact that SMU was able to make it a game, kind of impressive. Not gonna lie.
Yeah,
but
almost so close to coming back and taking that game to overtime, but missed that field goal at the end of the game, and there goes your season. Like I said, I should just stop talking about teams from the ACC and making the playoffs because I'm like 0-3 this year. So,
yeah, maybe they should all just come find you.
Whoa! What do you mean by that?
I think you know exactly what I mean.
Anyways, number 4 in the top 5 is Ryan's new favorite team, Yale.
Couple of dogs.
Is Yale for coming back in the first round of the FCS playoffs.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it was more that I was just like seeing like the ESPN ticker, and I was like, Jesus Christ, Yale is getting murdered. And then later that night, while I was watching Auburn, Alabama, I just see, holy crap, they won. Meanwhile, Harvard got absolutely murdered.
Chill.
But yeah, no, 29-point comeback in the first round of the playoffs. They might just be the Indiana Pacers.
This is the first time that that the Ivy League is actually playing in the FCS playoffs. This is a new thing. Like they wouldn't.
Yeah, this is very new.
So they won in the first round. Yeah,
Harvard, and Villanova absolutely got Harvard
eviscerated. Oh, that's bad. Anyways, moving on. Number 3 is Jaden Baugh, running back from Florida, for pretty much crushing the hopes and dreams of Florida State's fans, if they can even be considered crushed at this point with how their season has unfolded since week 1.
I just feel bad for Florida State now.
I don't.
I mean, 13-0 screwed over Now Mike Norvell is back for another year. Uh, had the worst season that you could possibly have coming off a 13-0 season, and then have another terrible season after beating Alabama week 1. By the way,
Yeah.
I just
Ball had 38 carries for 266 yards and 2 tutties.
that's stupid.
Totin'
That's called hating a rival
rock.
right there.
Yep. Jaden Ball is so good.
But we'll get to someone who truly hates their rival in a second.
We'll get to that in a second. Actually, we're gonna get to it right now. Coming in number 2, Texas Longhorns for stopping the Aggies from getting an undefeated regular season. I know Ryan was a pretty happy camper on Friday.
I was a super happy camper. I literally said, I was texting with one of my buddies. I was like, if it takes an Eagles loss to get a Longhorn win tonight, totally worth it. I don't even care. Totally worth it. And absolutely was. That game was so much fun to watch. Second year in a row, the Longhorns get to screw the Aggies over, making their first SEC championship. What more could you possibly want? Arch, yeah, he went 14-29, but he looked really good. I mean, a lot of the plays he was just missing. He was a lot of his incompletions where he's under pressure instantly and he's got to
His
step up
line
and make
still
a throw.
sucks.
Yeah, the offensive line still needs to figure it out. But you want to talk about that touchdown throw to Ryan Wingo? It looks like it's a really bad throw until you see that the safety, if he would have kept leading Wingo, that safety is picking that ball off. So, yeah, it probably could have been a little bit closer to inbounds, and Wingo still made a phenomenal catch. But it was still a great throw. And then Quintravion Wisner, again, just having the greatest game of his life against Texas A&M, again, after having 180 yards last year against them. That is a man who truly hates his rival.
I mean, I'm pretty sure Jay Bateman checks under his bed at night for Contravian Wisner. So
seriously, it was once like it got to 20-10. Like I felt that the game was pretty much over, and then the Arch 35-yard touchdown run. Oh, phenomenal, fun. And then Marcel Reed's last 2 throws being interceptions, just cinema.
Absolute cinema. Anyways, good weekend for Ryan on the Texas department. Now he's gonna wait till next weekend to see if his season is over or not. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Number 1 of the top 5, Diego Pavia. Send him to New York, please.
Yes, he had a great game. He had 400 some odd yards by himself.
268 passing, 165 rushing, 2 total touchdowns. That was more offense than Tennessee's offense as a whole, by the way. Did have the 2 interceptions, but they also hung up 45.
It's the 2 interceptions that really just ouch.
Okay.
But look, we both thought that Vanderbilt's offense wasn't going to be able to keep up with Tennessee's offense. It was the complete other way around.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they ran through them. They should. If anybody should get a playoff nod, it should be Vanderbilt. Let's be real.
Whoa, okay. Didn't expect you of all people to say that, but okay.
If there's a real argument for who should get that final spot, there's 2 teams in my mind, and let's be real, it should be Vanderbilt.
All right. Well, we'll talk about all that later when we get to the playoff talking stuff. We're going to go into the bottom 5 now. Honorable mention for Casey Concepcion's jersey, and I'm going to leave this clip of Kirby Smart to tell you why.
Hey, Chauncey, tuck your shirt in so you look like everybody else. Solomon, like I tell the receivers every day, tuck your shirt in. Tuck your shirt in. Let's go.
Yeah. Could not have been a better situation for Texas here. That was going to be a punt return touchdown, and Ethan Burke literally gets dragged like he's a sled because he's holding on to Concepcion's jersey so tight, and it slows him down.
Yeah,
and he can't run. Texas defenders catch up. Now I do believe, or no, A&M, I don't think A&M scored after that. I think they got held on that one. Let me double check.
I don't remember if they might have got a
Um,
field goal off that. No, no,
let's see.
no. Concepcion scored on that drive.
Oh, okay. It was when it was still 3-3. Okay, that's right. Um, yeah. Okay, they did end up scoring. You're right.
Yeah,
Never mind. Was it? I mean, it was a touchdown saving tackle, but it wasn't.
I mean, still, tuck your shirt in.
Yeah, I mean, just to give them an opportunity.
Anyways, number 5, SMU. What is it? Like I already said, what is it with these ACC teams and pissing away their shot at the playoffs?
I'm telling you, man. They just
Louisville,
find
Georgia
it.
Tech, now SMU.
You ever seen that death meme where it's like the knocking on doors?
Yeah, is that me
And
going? Is that me
yeah,
going through the ACC?
that's you going through your ACC team.
Do I need to pick the opposite ACC team?
Can you just
Later.
pick? Can you just like pick Virginia this week?
You want Duke to win. We'll get into that later. But yeah, SMU falls to Cal, knocks themselves out of the ACC championship. It'll be Duke and Virginia now. Duke has 5 losses, if I'm right. That's not right for them to make the
Yeah.
ACC championship somehow.
Yeah, what universe? Hold on. How did that work out? Because
They're 7 and
they
5.
still
I think,
have 2 SEC losses or ACC losses. They have 2 conference losses.
yeah,
How does Miami not get in over them?
some tiebreaker, BS. I don't know. The ACC does things weird, but yeah, they have a loss to Illinois.
You
a
know what
loss
they
to
don't do
Tulane,
weird? You know what they don't do weird?
beat UConn. I mean, what?
No. No. No, they don't do they do the reviews
Oh,
pretty
I
cool.
love that. I was watching the the Georgia Tech game. I love that stuff. I need every conference to do that.
It better be implemented next year.
The live feed into the review room. That stuff is awesome.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to number 4 is Michigan for not living up to reputation of owning Ohio State and pretty much pooping the bed in your own stadium and doing nothing.
Yeah. I mean, Brutus had
By the way-
more time in the end zone than Michigan did.
Why are we headbutting refs?
Because why not? That.
What do you mean, why not?
Because why not? At that point, just why not?
They paid Bryce Underwood $13 million to throw the ball 18 times.
They paid him $13 million to complete 8 passes.
Yeah, but their offense is just not. It's not very good. It's not good play calling in that offense. I mean, they can run the ball, yeah, but they can't really do much outside of that. How many catches did Andrew Marsh have? I said he was going to be the X factor in this game, and he was a non-factor just because they did not get. He had 0 catches. They did not give him the ball.
Yeah.
That's bad on that is on the Michigan offensive staff.
Yeah. That's just dumb at that point.
Hold up,
I
nice.
saw a meme where it was a meme where it was like Michigan spent more time defending their logo than they did Ohio State's offense.
Yeah, they did. That's probably true. Nice game for Bo Jackson, by the way.
Because they were protecting the flag plant.
Yeah, nice game for Bo Jackson. 22 carries, 117 yards, 4 catches,
Yeah.
49 yards. Game
Yeah,
from
he was the best player for them,
that freshman
arguably.
running back. Moving on to number 3 is the Ole Miss fans. I'm gonna let Ryan explain to you why.
Yeah, well, I saw a video and it was like them booing Lane Kiffin as he's boarding his flight to go to LSU or to, I guess, Baton Rouge. But it's like, really, we're gonna boo the coach who put your team in a playoff position. He wanted to coach the team in the playoffs. He was told he can't. And I get he's leaving, but dude, coaches leave all the time. How do you think Washington fans felt after Kalen DeBoer left?
Yeah, they were in the national championship and he left.
Yeah, it's like you guys just have an opportunity to play. I just frustrates me that you would do that. It's not worth that.
Yeah.
At all.
We'll get into more Lane Kiffin stuff a little bit later. But yeah, I'm on Ryan's side of this one. Number 2, Pitt for just not being competitive at all against Miami. We thought Miami's going up in that cold pitch, fighting for their life in the ACC and their life in the playoffs. They're going to put up a fight. Nope.
Yeah, just nothing. It was 7-3 pit at one point. I was like, all right, this could be a game. No,
Nope.
no,
Not at all.
no. 35 straight points from Miami.
All right. And number one of the bottom five is Auburn receivers for apparently oiling up their hands before the game because they had about 7 drops. The fumble at the end of the game by Cam Coleman to seal it. One of those drops turned into an interception for Ashton Daniels. It was bad.
Just catch the ball.
Literally just catch the ball.
It's not an easy thing. It's easier said than done for sure, but you guys have gloves on your hand to help you catch the ball. How do you drop that many passes? It should not be that difficult. And even the last, one of the last plays of the game, the punt with
it was dropped.
Yeah, with 4 seconds, fumble, muff. How?
Yep.
That defense played a phenomenal game. They kept them in it for as long as they possibly could.
Yeah, I mean, there's not really much more that defense can do. Yeah, there are so many just stall drives because on third down, just right through the hands.
Yeah, Auburn offense through the entire first quarter, 3 plays, -1 yard, 3 plays, 0 yards, 3 plays, 2 yards.
Yep.
Punt, punt, punt.
Yeah, that's not gonna win you football games. And they come.
Oh, and then 7 plays, 17 yards, downs. 3 plays, 8 yards, punt, field goal to end the half, and then finally got something going in the second half.
Yep.
Lord. Also, just one quick note in that game. How many flags is Bama going to get?
Oh, are you saying to bail them out?
To kind of bail them out. I'm not going to lie. There were a couple of plays in there where they got bailed.
10 penalties for 84 yards. Auburn was also just playing way too erratic, so the penalties make sense.
There were some where I was like, all right, yeah, that is you can't do that. But or the jumping off sides on 4th and 1. I mean, come on.
Yeah, you can't have that happen.
You gotta hold your water.
Hold your water. All right, anyways, that's gonna wrap it up for the top 5 and bottom 5 of week 14. Moving on to talking points of the week. Coaching changes all around the country. 5 new head coaches, right, were named yesterday. All on yesterday, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, 5. And we got more news from earlier today. This is filmed on Monday, December 1st. So as of today, Mark Stoops has been fired from Kentucky. That's it's kind of sad because he's longest tenured coach in the SEC. He had that program up to highs that they really don't see very often. And yeah, it's been pretty rough last few years. And while I agree it was time, it was still very sad.
Yeah, I mean, he did bring them to some really high highs, but he also
there
had
were some lows.
Really low lows.
There were some lows for sure.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, it was probably past time, but it's done. It's the program can honestly start moving in a different way. So
it's sad, but it's right. It's the right move.
Yeah, it's the right move.
But anyways, other moves. We'll get to the big one at the end. We'll talk about all these other moves first. Starting with what job do you want to start with?
I mean, I've got them all pulled up here. So
let's start with the one I'm seeing the most scrutiny about in terms of the actual candidate hired. Let's go to Arkansas.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly
with Ryan Summerfield. They are not happy with that hire.
Yeah, it makes sense. From what I've seen, he had 0 appearances in the conference championship in 6 seasons. If you're gonna go from the American Conference to the SEC, you'd like for the coach to have at least 1 championship appearance. But
problem I see. Go ahead.
No, you're good.
Well, problem with what I'm saying with the I guess, you know, semi-success or the lack of a at least really successful season at Memphis. Who else was Arkansas going to hire at this point? Because this came after the Auburn hire. This came after Florida. No way were they in contention for Lane Kiffin. I'm just thinking of who else were they really trying to get here.
Yeah, I almost think it was more of a reactive hire than anything because yeah, they had no leads on any other coaches, and they just kind of saw Auburn and Florida go to the American Conference, and were probably like, yeah, we can do that.
Can do that. Um,
I feel bad for Eric Morris though. He could have held out for a SEC job.
yeah. I don't know why. Like, okay, yes, obviously sometimes it doesn't work getting a coach from a mid-major and moving from them to the SEC or a big other conference like the Big Ten. See Billy Napier. But are we forgetting who's the number 2 team in the country right now? Are we forgetting that he was at
Indiana?
That he was at James Madison 2 years ago, and Indiana hired him from James Madison, and he turned that program around like that
Instantly.
I mean,
yeah. And James Madison is still a good program, by the way.
Oh yeah, I mean that was built up by him. Like, I understand it doesn't always work, but it works to an extent.
Yeah.
But I don't know. We'll see. In terms of Arkansas, the next job I wanted to talk about was Auburn hiring Alex Golish. I was really confused. Not really with the hire of Golish himself, but with the hire of any outside candidate for that head coaching job, because I really thought they were going to stick with DJ Durkin.
I thought that should have been a move. At least give him a shot to put his hat in the ring. I mean, he coached a phenomenal game against Alabama. He actually, I was looking at it, and I mean, he was smiling for most of it, or at least it looked like he was smiling for most of the game, but like, he looked like he was having some funny conversations on the headset with his coaches during that game. I'm not going to lie. He looked like a coach I could root for.
Yeah, this was Golish's words. I mean, he's literally been on the plains for less than a day, and he's trying to get his staff assembled. He's trying to retain Durkin. His exact words were, "I'm working through it." So he might not even be
a head coach,
or he might not even be at Auburn at all next year. So,
oh yeah,
I don't know. And there's still some jobs open. Penn State's still open. Kentucky's now open.
Yeah, I had no idea what they're gonna do.
I don't. We'll look into that a little bit later too. But yeah, Penn State, they're really falling behind the 8 ball with these 5 hires now. But I guess they're the top job left on the market, so they can kind of get whoever they want that's left now.
Yeah.
Next is Florida with John Summerall. Got one friend who's a really big Florida fan. He hated this hire. He obviously wanted Lane Kiffin.
Really?
Yeah.
They were not getting Lane Kiffin.
Yeah, but he, PTSD from Billy Napier.
That's fair.
And according to at least him and what he's been telling me is that Scott Strickland is really the reason that they fell out of the race for Lane Kiffin. And I heard some buzz about Lincoln Riley, and Strickland turned him away immediately. I don't know what truth there is to that. But Florida has hired John Summerall. I think this is a really good hire for Florida, actually. In contrast to what he thinks. I think this is the type of coach they need. Billy Napier, obviously, great dude, not really a good SEC football coach. Summerall's got, type of coach, got no other hobbies, no free time, football is his life, and that's it. It's the type of stuff that makes the top coaches really good.
At least he won't be out golfing.
He's not gonna be out golfing a bunch like Hugh Freeze was. I don't understand why they made that hire in the first place. But I think Summerall's gonna do really good things at Florida. Guys, he's a good recruiter. He's recruited in the area around Louisiana, Mississippi, Texas, all that stuff. Not really Florida, but Florida doesn't only just recruit in Florida. So I think Summerall is probably going to have this program in a better place.
Yeah, he's also taken Tulane to I believe it was 6 straight American Conference championships, and he has a win over Caleb Williams and USC. Heisman Caleb Williams and USC in the Cotton Bowl, in which they came back and won. I think it was like a 25-point comeback, and they won. So,
And
he's got a big win
unlike
on his resume.
Unlike Kiffin, he is going to finish his season with Tulane, whether that be through, he's definitely going to be this week, and whether if they win this week, that be through the playoffs, which Tulane is currently slated to make should they win on Friday. Talk about that a little bit later. All right, next job up, we're talking about the big one. Lane Kiffin officially announces he will become the next head coach at LSU. The whole situation was ugly. Ryan mentioned earlier that he was getting booed on his way boarding his plane from Oxford. So were some of the other assistant coaches that were on their way to Baton Rouge. The whole situation was messy. Essentially, Lane Kiffin probably had chosen to take this job pretty much all week. I think he was fighting tooth and nail to finish the season out at Ole Miss, and their athletic director, Keith Carter, said no. Nuh-uh. The Ole Miss team asked the AD if Kiffin could finish the season. He said, nuh-uh. So Kiffin continued trying to push, and eventually it led to him strong-arming the athletic director and saying, listen, you're either going to let me coach the rest of the season, or I'm taking every assistant coach with me to Baton Rouge tonight. And still didn't budge in, and that's what happened.
Yeah, he's also taking like 90% of those players.
After the season, yeah. I would not be surprised.
It's not even going to be close.
With the way he recruits, there's at the very least half of their roster is committed to Kiffin and not to Ole Miss.
Oh yeah, there's no, especially after what that athletic director did. It's like you just probably lost your best chance at a national championship. He tried probably for the next 50 years.
Look, Lane Kiffin's a nut. He's a nut job. He's a giant troll. Look, I don't think he owed it to Ole Miss to stay or anything. And I think
not in the slightest.
I think he tried to give them all he could for the rest of the season, and he was denied. He said, hey, I'm trying to do this the right way. I'm trying to finish what I started this season before taking this job, which is, by the way, objectively better. Anyone who tells you differently is wrong.
Yeah, not even close. He's getting paid what, $12 million a year, and he's getting a $25 million boost in NIL.
Yeah. So, I mean, okay. I'm all for the guy. Look, he's tried to do it the right way. He said, hey, I'm going to take this job. I'm letting you know in advance. I want to finish the season and continue our quest to win a national championship. And the school itself said no.
He actually put in his 2 weeks, and they essentially they fired him at that point.
Yeah. That is
he put in his 2 weeks, and they were like, no, you're not allowed to quit. It's like, well, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they just, worst thing they could have done.
And in response to that, they elevated Pete Golding, their defensive coordinator, not only to interim, they hired him full-time. He will be their new head coach next season. Might have been a little bit of a rush. But one speculation came out. What?
They married the rebound.
All right, that's funny. I think it was. Yeah.
They married the rebound. That's what they did.
Essentially.
They were like, look, we have your defensive coordinator as our head coach now.
Look, okay. I think it was. Okay, well, Lane Kiffin is. Look, LSU defensive coordinator is not something LSU is currently lacking. So I think he'll be good in that department. I think it was just in response to, because once word got out that Kiffin was probably on his way to Baton Rouge, that's when Florida fired the gun at Summerall and Auburn at Golish and Arkansas at Silverfield. So all the top candidates outside of Kiffin were gone. So Ole Miss is like, well, crap, we're just gonna scoop up Golding while we can. Was it rushed? Who knows? Probably would have waited till the end of the season to promote him to full-time head coach. But yeah, that's just me. So that's all the major coaching changes that happened this past.
Hold on.
You good?
I don't know. I just started dying all of a sudden.
That's gross.
Yeah, Jesus.
Anyways, that's all the major coaching changes that happened this past week. Still got some jobs open, mainly Penn State. I actually want to see who are the top candidates now for Penn State. I think
Dude,
they were
nobody.
looking after Matt Rule, and then he signed an extension with Nebraska. Let's see what 247's got. Our most recent updates involve Kalen DeBoer,
So no.
Bob Chesney, Marcus Freeman, Eli Drinkwitz, and Terry Smith. I think Penn State's also probably going to have to stoop down to getting a coordinator from someone else.
They could snag a coordinator from someone.
Go get Brian Hartline, man. You really want to take a big swing for the fences? Go hire Brian Hartline. No, the guy doesn't have head coaching experience, but if he could replicate anything with what he's built for Ohio State in terms of the receiver department and apply that to an entire team, it's pretty good.
Oh. He's actually interviewing for Kentucky's head coaching position.
Wow, really? Hartline?
49 minutes ago.
Wow, I'd like that hire for Kentucky, man.
Yeah, hold on, let me just Buckeye headquarter, yeah, that seems reasonable.
I mean, talk about a monopoly over just one aspect of the sport. Brian Hartline's got
seriously. it. God damn. Where's my water bottle?
You dying there, dude?
Yeah, I'll be right back.
Okay. We're going to take a pause while Ryan goes to clear his throat. All right, we're back while Ryan was dying away. I don't know. You good now?
Yeah.
All right.
Maybe. I had to go grab my ball.
Next point of this week, reviewing the Heisman finalists that we made 2 weeks ago, right? 2 episodes ago?
Yeah.
We should have a pretty clear picture about what it should be now. Ryan, who are the 4 guys you're sending to New York?
Mendoza, Jeremiah Love, Jacob Rodriguez, and I mean, there's really no one else to send. It's Diego Pavia.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I pretty much have the same guys, except sadly, I know defensive players don't get a lot of love unless they're like literally have the most godlike numbers ever. So I'm gonna swap Jacob Rodriguez for Julian Sayin. It's sad. I would really like Rodriguez to be a finalist.
Jacob Rodriguez is the people's Heisman.
Exactly. He's my Heisman.
He's mine.
He's my
By a mile. Not even close. If I was a voter, Jacob Rodriguez would be up there.
Hell
yeah. Yeah, he's my number 1 pick. I don't care.
Yep. I agree. So pretty much the same 3 guys with Mendoza, Love, and Pavia, and then you have Rodriguez and I have Sayin. So all
and honestly, Julian Sayin doing a great job.
Yeah.
So
we got out of those 6 guys, 3 of them are playing, 4 of them playing conference championships this week.
What do you mean?
Out of 6 of those guys that we just named, because there were 6 of
5.
them total.
5.
No, 6. 5. You're right.
We both had.
Yeah. 5.
3 plus 1.
5. 3 of them are playing in a conference championship, right?
Yes, because
Love is not, and Pavia is
in a
not.
conference.
Yeah.
Jeremiah Love is not in a conference.
Well, that's another topic for another time. So.
I agree.
All right. And quickly going to review our playoff pictures because they've shifted around a little bit. With Texas A&M losing and mine with SMU losing, and yeah. So we're going to...
Well, actually, hold on.
Yours is...
The only one for me is Pitt.
Oh, yeah, you had Pitt in the... Are you about to do what I think you're going to do?
What am I going to do?
You're gonna say...
Am I going to put Texas in there?
No. You're gonna say no to the ACC.
I mean...
Is that what you're gonna do?
We can debate it if we want. Or since we both know it's true.
I think if Duke wins against Virginia on Saturday, I think the ACC is from the whole thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, mostly teams.
I don't even think they should be in anyways. Who is Virginia beating this year?
Hey man, it's the rules. So
Is it? Is it the rules?
yeah, it is. That's how it works.
Was it really?
Yeah, it is.
Even when 13-0
Oh
Florida
my
State.
God, stop bringing this up. It's a different system now. I don't want to hear
It's
it.
it's precedent. It doesn't matter. It's
Uh,
something.
well, it does. No, it definitely. I mean, it does matter, but it's a different system now. Like
It's a completely different system now.
Virginia's
But
not getting in at large. They're getting in because they as a 2-loss power 4 school is above a 1-loss group of 6 school, which makes sense to me. So does it not? Does it not make sense to you? By the way, did Virginia not beat Louisville?
all right, never mind.
And Louisville beat James Madison. So
I stand
you
corrected.
really want to get technical with that? We can get technical with it.
Nah, they just don't deserve to be in because I hate.
You just hate the ACC. You're just a hater.
Absolutely.
That's
Oh
what
my gosh.
All right.
I despise the ACC.
So let's move some things around. Where are you dropping Texas A&M to after the loss to Texas? They're out of the SEC championship now. We both still are in agreement they are making the playoffs, correct? I don't want this
No.
to. Okay, well you're just saying that because you hate Texas A&M.
Yes.
Unbiased.
No, A&M
Thank you.
should be 5 or 6.
All right. Yeah, I agree with that. I'll probably slot it in at 5 because I don't.
Actually, I'm putting in 6.
You're putting Ole Miss, who doesn't have a coach.
No.
Who do you have at?
No.
Who are you putting at 6?
The team I have at 11 right now, Oregon.
Oh, I forgot you had Oregon at 11. Okay.
Who is 11-1.
Yeah,
as well.
I forgot. Well, you thought Oregon was gonna lose, so.
I was fully with Oregon losing.
All right. Well, so here's what we're working with.
Yeah.
Ohio State still number 1, correct? We're both in agreement there.
Yeah.
Indiana 2.
Yeah, I think win or lose, Ohio State and Indiana.
Or 1 and 2. I agree. 3. I assume you have. Do you have Texas Tech?
Yeah, I think Texas Tech.
Okay. Well, I think 3 depends on the winner of the SEC championship game. Well, first off, I think Texas Tech is winning the Big 12. We can talk about that if they don't later, but yeah, with Georgia already being above Texas Tech, I think if they were to win on Saturday, they would stay at 3 and Texas Tech would be at 4. Bama wins, then Texas Tech would slot to 3. Man, who do you slide up then at that point?
To 4?
Yeah. Oregon probably, actually. Because no way you're going to keep Texas A&M at 4.
Yikes.
And there's no way they're putting Ole Miss at 4. Man,
Yikes.
this is messy. This can get real messy.
It's gonna. Ooh.
This can get messy.
That's messy for Greg Sankey.
All right, I'll keep, just to make things simpler because I don't really have time to think about it right now. We'll keep Georgia at 3, put Texas Tech at 4.
Yeah.
We'll slide A&M to 6 and vault Oregon to 5.
Yeah. I'll put Ole Miss 7. I think they deserve a 7.
I'll keep Ole Miss at 7. Oklahoma impressed me nowhere near enough to stay to jump them, so they stay at 8. Notre Dame staying at 9, and then here
Alabama falls completely out. I'll put
really
Virginia 10.
And then who's 11?
Assuming Virginia wins. 11?
Yeah.
Uh,
I don't think. Why are you dropping?
It can't be Vanderbilt. It won't be Vanderbilt.
Hold on. Why are you dropping Alabama out? Is my question.
I don't think it. I mean,
I don't think a loss.
I'm gonna say this.
I don't think.
I'm gonna say this. I don't think any 3-loss team should make it.
Okay. Well, one
Let's
did
be real.
One did last year because of the conference championship.
Because they won the conference championship. That's a different story. They were the
and
12th
SMU
seed. They were
did not slide out because they lost the conference championship.
Because they had 2 losses.
But they still did not slide out.
Alabama would have 3 losses.
Look,
it's a different situation. Alabama's already low.
Look, for
SMU is already ranked high.
They already don't. There's already not a lot of, I guess, people don't value conference championships as much as they used to be valued, the BCS and even the 4-team era. if you create the precedent that they're sliding out because they lost in their conference championship while they were already slated to be in, that's a bad precedent. Now, if the committee looks at how they played Auburn on Saturday and says, you didn't play Auburn good and BYU played better than you and they switched them and BYU, go ahead. A loss would effectively knock them out. Yes. But it's what they think.
But why would a loss? So you're arguing that Alabama's already too far in to slide out because they lost their conference championship game?
The way I understood it and the way it was explained.
Or are you saying if they lose the conference championship game, it doesn't matter. They should still be in.
I'm saying that the way I understood it from last year is that this upcoming show that's happening today after the last week of the regular season, everybody is pretty. They are set with who they think is who's better than who. And that's how they rank it. They think this team is better than this team, so on, so on, so on. I think a loss to, in this situation, number 3 Georgia, a team that they've already beaten, by the way, would not slide them out. It's the same thing as saying, it's like saying if BYU beats Texas Tech, that they've got 2 losses, they should slide out of the playoffs. No,
because they only have 2 losses.
But it's the same thing. It doesn't make sense to me.
No, it's not the same thing.
It doesn't make sense to me because why are you playing these conference? At that point, I'm just not. I don't want to play in my conference championship then. If I'm going to get punished for playing in it and losing it.
That's fair. That's a fair argument to that. But you shouldn't say that everyone who loses the conference championship should slide out.
I think if you are,
I just think I don't think that a 3-loss, like the difference between Clemson with 3 losses and Alabama with 3 losses is Clemson was the 5th best conference champion. That's how they rated that, and that's why they were the 12th seed last year. That's why they went on the road. Alabama with 3 losses, who right now, according, I believe, to the playoff committee, let me double check my numbers here. According to the playoff committee, they are already the 10th ranked team. So they're already on the verge of missing the playoff. If they were to fall to 10-3, you could have Miami jump them. You could have Utah jump them. Those are probably the only 2 teams to jump them.
Yeah, but what do those teams do to jump them though? Is my problem. Like if they don't think that those teams are better than Alabama right now, why would they think they're better than Bama right now if they lose to the 3rd best team in the country in a conference championship? That's what I'm saying.
Argument. That's a fair argument.
That is the criteria we're picking, right? Unless we're talking automatic qualifiers, which that's different. This would not be an automatic qualifier. This is one of the top 12 teams in the country. And at that point, I don't think that loss knocks them out of it. Because it's a team, it's the winner of the SEC. It's a conference championship. It's against a team they would have already beaten in the season. They beat back in week 4 or 5 or whenever the heck it was. And they have other wins to their name.
No, I that's fair.
That's the way I'm seeing it.
That makes sense.
I get record is, wins and losses are the main thing, and it's so important that they put it on the scoreboard and they put it on the rankings to show who teams have bet. But
so then what's the argument against Texas?
They didn't lose their conference championship game. Alabama lost to the number 8 team in the country, and who else they lose to? Oh, they lost to Florida State the first week of the season. Texas has 3 losses.
So Texas,
all of them not from their conference championship. Texas is not getting punished.
That's fine.
Let me finish.
But
Texas is not getting punished for playing an extra game. They played their 12 and lost 3. In this case, Bama
you sound like you're right next to your mic.
I am. Bama is playing an extra game, and they would be getting punished for playing an extra game.
Right. So you're saying, but you were making the argument that like, yes, records are semi-important, but there's also the strength of schedule.
Agree.
Who you've beaten.
Agree.
And Texas, yes. The loss to Florida The loss to Florida, embarrassing.
Very.
Horrible. Ruined the season, more than likely. But they also have played Ohio State the best out of anyone.
Look. Okay.
On the road.
Hold on. Time out. Not saying
And
much.
I understand. No, 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 no,
Not
no, no,
saying
no, no,
much.
no, 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 no. And I understand. I understand that was week one. That offense, neither offense was good at the time.
Agreed.
Don't get me wrong.
Agreed.
That was still a really good. That was the closest anyone has played Ohio
No,
State.
it was.
14-7 was the closest anyone has played Ohio State so far this season.
Look, I'm completely in agreement with you. Texas at 9-3 is better than Vanderbilt at 10-2. They're better than Utah.
Better than Miami at
10-2.
10-2.
They're better than Miami at 10.
Better than BYU at 11-1.
2. Timeout. We're getting there. I don't think you can compare Texas at 9-3 to Alabama at 10-3 with one of those losses for Alabama.
No. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying you were making the argument that yes, records are important, but yeah. I'm not saying
Look, I
at all.
think the only chance that this top 10 is changed after conference championship. The top 10. Just the top 10. Just the bids not getting vaulted up into 11 or 12 because of automatic qualifiers.
Is it Georgia loses?
Is if Georgia loses or if Texas Tech loses. I don't think either of those two. I think if both those teams win, nothing changes in the top 10.
Okay, that's fair. That is a fair argument to make.
Yeah.
So what happens when BYU loses?
They're not in the playoffs anyways. So
Yeah, they are.
no, they're not. They are currently the first team out.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, did they have Miami in over BYU?
They had Miami as the ACC automatic qualifier because they had Miami as the highest ranked ACC team. But Miami's not going to the conference championship. So why they did that, I have no clue.
And there's already a top 10.
Yeah.
There's no more.
Why they did that, I have no clue.
There's actually zero way Texas gets in.
I don't think any of the top 10 teams can play their way out.
Actually, the only way Texas gets in is if Virginia loses. Actually, no. No, there's zero possibility for any other team to get in.
If you are ranked below 10 this week,
you're out.
And you are not playing in a conference championship.
It doesn't matter.
And you're not playing in a conference championship, BYU, you're out. BYU, Virginia.
BYU is the only team that can jump up into the playoffs. Virginia's already in if they win.
Yeah, if they win. They have to win. They have to win. Bless you.
Bless me.
Bless you. Okay. Jerk.
Thank you. You ever seen that Quinn Williams clip?
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
He sneezes in an interview and he goes, "Bless you." Thank you.
Okay. That's funny. Look, if you're not actively in the top 10 and you're not playing in a conference championship game after the regular season's over, you're not getting in the playoffs. Simple as that. Because what would you be doing during conference championship week?
Yeah.
When you're doing nothing.
The only team that can play their way in is BYU. And yes, technically Virginia, but
they're already,
in my eyes, Virginia's already in.
They're already slated.
Virginia's already in.
Yeah, because they're the ACC leader. Yeah.
Yes.
I agree.
So the only team that can play their way in is BYU.
Yep.
Wow, that really sucks.
That's how it works. I'm telling you, conference championship games matter. If you're not playing in one, you're not helping yourself. You're not hurting yourself either, but it's got to be where you're...
Can we just make it a 68-man bracket?
No, it's got to be... That has to be the precedent. If you're not playing in a conference championship game, you're not doing yourself any favors.
Yeah, no.
That's what that has to be.
Yeah, worst Alabama drops to is 12, realistically.
I don't think they're dropping if they lose.
I don't think they are either, and that's the thing.
Only case I think they drop if they lose is if BYU wins. And they squeeze in there and the committee doesn't drop Texas Tech out for that.
Yeah,
which
they'll drop Bama.
Which would slide Bama out. That is the only situation I see.
Yeah, there is zero space for any other team to jump in.
Yep.
Vanderbilt, Texas, Utah,
Because the season is over.
Miami,
That's how
all
it
out.
works. That's how it works.
All out.
That's how it
Wow.
should be.
Yeah.
Anyways, so I have.
Unless Texas gets in over Oklahoma.
You would say that. So
That,
after
that's
that,
real. That's realistic.
that's realistic because Texas beat Oklahoma.
Yeah. That's the only reason it's realistic.
So completely off the rails, we just went. So we have the same top.
Well,
We have the same top 10.
yeah.
Correct. They're just scrambled around and moved around a little bit.
Yeah, they're gonna be scrambled.
The two teams we have left is if Virginia wins the ACC championship, Virginia, and the American winner, presumably.
I'm putting James Madison over North Texas.
Okay.
Realistically.
Now, if Duke were to win, whoever wins the Americans in anyways, along with James Madison.
Please. I would love to see North Texas in the playoff. That would just
Man,
make me so
maybe a
happy.
win over Tulane would do that because apparently the committee loves the American and hates the Sun Belt. So,
The committee just hates James Madison.
no, they hate their conference because their conference isn't good. That's why they keep putting all these 2-loss American teams above them because the American is a much better conference.
So why is North Texas not over Tulane?
Because they think Tulane is the better team. Because I think Tulane also has some wins that North Texas doesn't. That's what the case for USF and North Texas and Tulane was the wins. They both have wins over Power 5 teams.
You're right. They have a win over Duke.
Yep. That's the only thing.
But they also have a 22-point loss to UTSA.
Yeah, that's bad.
So
yeah, we'll go with that. Finally, moving on to the conference championships. This has been a long episode. We've just been blabbling about nothing.
it's good conversation.
It is. All right, conference championships. We've got all 9 FBS conference championships slated up. Starting off with the MAC championship, probably the least interesting one, probably the worst teams make up it. Western Michigan and Miami of Ohio. Who do you got?
Yeah, I'm gonna take Miami of Ohio. I know it's technically a road game, or it is a road game because that's how the group of 5s do it. But I don't know. I don't know much about them. All I saw was they have a 26-17 win. Granted, it was at home. I'll pick Miami.
I think it's tough to beat the same team twice in a season. And Western Michigan is at home for this one, so I'm gonna go Western Michigan. Did not know they play in Ford Field.
Yeah.
Interesting. Anyways, next game up, Kennesaw State, Jacksonville State. Kennesaw State, this is their second year in FBS, by the way. Jacksonville State's also had a really good year. They have one of the leaders in the country in rushing yards, and Cam Cook, who's got 1588 rushing yards, which is insane. Ryan, who you got?
Yeah, they're not stopping Cam Cook. 5.7 a carry. Granted, they're going to focus him in so hard. They're probably going to stack 8 in the box the entire game. I mean, I guess the only way Jacksonville State can win is if their quarterback goes for probably 125 passing yards. Because if they're going to focus in on Cam Cook, I can still bank that he's going to get upwards of 100 yards. He's averaging more than 100 yards a game. I think Jacksonville State will win, but Creel's got to throw for 125 at least.
What did I just say about the MAC? It's tough to beat the same team twice in a season. Jacksonville State already took down Kennesaw State by 9 at home 3 games ago. I think Kennesaw State gets its revenge and wins their first conference championship in FBS this year.
Not biased.
Okay, chill out, buddy. Shh. Next game up is who is next? The Mountain West Conference Championship, Boise State and UNLV. UNLV is a very quiet 10-2. Nobody's bringing them up for any of these playoff discussions, but I think it's probably been made clear they're probably not gonna be.
Well, I mean, if Tulane wins, they're in the playoffs. If
exactly.
North Texas wins, it's North Texas in the playoffs or James Madison in the playoffs. So
Something else about UNLV. Dan Mullen has not been brought up for any high tier coaching jobs.
yeah, that's something to be said.
Anyways,
But,
I'm going UNLV, despite it being at Boise.
yeah, I'm gonna go with the home field advantage here. Give me Boise State.
Okay. Next is the Sun Belt Championship. JMU trying to play their way into the playoffs and hoping that the community finds favor over them. Over, North Texas should they win, or they're the biggest Duke fans in the world this weekend. Yeah, I'm going James Madison to continue their stellar
Not
season.
even a question. Not even a question.
Last group of 6, or I guess 5, because the one doesn't have a conference championship. Well, they had it last week technically, but anyways, last
Good on Wazoo. Won the Pac-12.
Pac-2. Anyways, last group of
Actually,
conference
they're tied.
championship. Tulane and UNT. This is the big one. Tulane currently slated to make the playoffs as the group of 5 team. North Texas trying to steal that from them. It is in New Orleans, home field for Tulane. But I'm going to go North Texas. Their offense is just way too strong. Drew Mestamaker's pushing 4,000 yards.
Yeah, this game could be in New Orleans. It could be in California. I don't care where it is.
Be in
I'm
Timbuktu.
going with the Mean Green all day, any day. Drew Messmaker's awesome. Caleb Hawkins awesome. Those two together, you can't stop a good run attack and a good pass attack. It's very difficult to.
Yeah, out of all these games I'm watching on Friday, I'm definitely watching this one.
Not even.
Not a
This is the
question.
only one that's being watched.
Exactly. All right, moving over to the Power Conference Championship. Excuse me. First one up is the ACC. Duke and Virginia. We just mentioned Virginia. Should they win, should make the playoffs. Duke would probably pave the way for a second group of 5 team to make it. Ryan, who you got?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Duke here. I'm more just rooting for the chaos.
Chaos would be sick.
I'm still just insanely confused at how they
Because Duke
are
lost
the team,
3 out of their 4 out of conference games.
but they still have 2 conference losses.
Some weird tiebreaker thing. I don't know. I don't know how the
Like there are
ACC works.
4 other teams, all of which with a better overall record that have 2 conference. Is it like some sort of like weird chain that I'm not following?
I don't know. Let me look up what the tiebreaker is.
Yeah, it's
see.
got to be like record
Why
against common
is
opponents. Or something
Duke-
like that.
And Duke's losses are just so niche.
Yeah. yeah. Well, because they lost to what was it, Virginia and Georgia Tech. Those are their only 2 losses. Which, hold on,
It's probably
why is Georgia?
because it's so many teams tied. Head to head is not a factor, but it probably is record against common opponents. And since they lost to literally the top 2 teams, everyone else most likely has a loss to those teams, and those other teams have losses to teams Duke has beat.
When Georgia Tech only has lost to Pitt
Let's see. Hold on.
and NC State. Pitt has lost to Miami
Here. 3 or more.
and Louisville.
3 or more team tie. Here it is.
Here we go.
First tiebreaker: combined head-to-head win percentage amongst the teams tied if all the teams tied are common opponents. No, not true.
No, I don't think so.
If all teams tied are not common opponents, the tied team that defeated each of the other tied teams. If all tied teams are not common opponents and no tied team defeated each of the other tied teams, but a tied team lost to each of the other tied teams, such as teams shall be eliminated and removed. Again, since there's 5 teams with the same record? 5. Yeah, 5.
All right, hold on. So Miami beat Pitt, so that's 1 against the tied team.
They lost to SMU.
And they lost at 1-1. Okay.
Again, this tiebreaker only counts if all of them played all of the other tied teams. Miami would have to. Miami didn't play Georgia Tech, and they didn't play Duke.
Okay.
C. This is the one I think we're at. Win percentage against all common opponents. That's what I think Duke got in on. Because 3 of Duke's losses, nobody else played. Nobody else played Illinois. Nobody else played Tulane, and nobody else played UConn.
Well, that's just out of conference. Oh yeah. Okay. Okay.
And their two
Making sense
losses
now.
are Virginia, who's also in the and Georgia Tech. So
Virginia, whose only conference loss was to Wake Forest, so
exactly.
they beat everybody else.
Exactly.
Um,
And Georgia Tech lost to NC State, which Duke beat,
mhm.
and they lost to Pitt, which Duke did not play.
Okay. Yeah. All right. That's
So there you go. And
whatever.
Georgia Tech did not play Virginia, so there's no there. So that's why Duke has it over Virginia.
Okay.
Let's
Making
see.
sense now.
What was Miami's second loss other than SMU? They lost to Louisville, right?
Yes.
Okay. Then I think the next one was win percentage against common opponents based, or no, it was combined win percentage of conference opponents. So I think Duke just played a harder in conference schedule than Miami did.
Okay. That makes more sense.
Anyways,
Also, really funny, by the way. Virginia 7-1 in conference play, two losses to conference opponents.
what? Oh, because
Playing
they played
NC State
NC
at the start of the year.
That's funny. Yeah. Anyways, whole long spiel about tiebreakers and whatnot. Yeah, I'm taking Virginia because,
Yeah,
they're just the better team.
I'm going for Duke just because I want them to win.
BYU and Texas Tech, the Big 12 championship.
I mean, one team has my goat, the other
Yes,
one
sir.
doesn't. Jacob Rodriguez. I'm pulling for Texas Tech. I hate Texas Tech, but I just love Jacob Rodriguez so much.
I think Texas Tech is way too stacked for BYU.
Also, that defense is nuts.
It's insane. All right, moving on to the SEC, Alabama and Georgia.
I mean, Alabama has looked very shaky these last couple of weeks, especially against Auburn. Granted, Jordan Hare has a lot of dark magic to it, and rivalry games are rivalry games. Now, I see a world in which Alabama is like you said, it's hard to beat the same team twice, but I think Alabama, their offense, I don't know, they draw up some crazy plays when it matters most. Fourth down, they have really creative plays to come up with, and they were really good at keeping drives alive against Auburn. And I think if they don't turn the ball over, I think they should be able to win. It's really just going to be a battle of who's going to win time of possession. So both of these teams go for long drives.
We go back to the first time these two teams played back early in the season in week 5. Kind of what Ryan just mentioned was really a big part of the game. Alabama kept drives going on third down. I believe they were 8 for their first 8 on third down. They did not fail to convert a third down in the first half. So they've always been good at, extending drives and winning on third down. Georgia at the beginning of the season was awful on third down. They could not get off the field in any of these games, including Alabama. They struggled with it against Ole Miss later in the season. They had some problems with it against Tennessee before this Alabama game. Since then, I think they've gotten much better on third down, and I'm sticking with my logic that it's hard to beat the same team twice in one season. Give me Georgia. Here's a big one.
Should be a good one either way.
Should be a good one. Here's the big one. Number 1 versus number 2, Ohio State and Indiana for the Big Ten title game. Both these teams into the playoffs. Both these teams will have first-round byes probably. Ryan, who you got?
Look, to be honest, I don't think either team should be playing their starters in this one. I think that would be just stupid. Big Ten championship. If Ohio State's playing their starters, that would be really dumb because they've won, plenty of Big Ten championships. But I think realistically, I don't know who's going to win this one because Indiana's offense has been insanely fun to watch all year. Ohio State's defense has been death row. Ohio State really hasn't had too many close games this year, and like they're not really battle tested when you think about it. They've got, I mean, they've got three ranked wins. They've got Texas, Illinois, and Michigan. Texas was very early on in the season before that offense really started figuring things out. Illinois, let's be realistic, they never should have been ranked in the first place. And then they just absolutely dominated Michigan. So they don't really have they don't have a close game all year. They have one game that was decided by one possession, week one. The rest have been by more. So they're running through these teams. Indiana has had a couple of close games, minus the 63-10 win against Illinois. They were close against Iowa. They beat Oregon on the road in a close one by 10. Played Penn State super close. But these last couple of weeks, they seem to have figured it out again. They dominated Wisco and they dominated the spoiler makers. Again, it could go either way, but I'm just going to pick Indiana. I think they're way more fun this year to watch.
I think that Ohio State has actually not played, especially on offense, to their full potential all year. It's evident in some of these games, like, you could tell in a 34-10 victory against Purdue that your foot's not really on the gas that much.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I think this Buckeyes offense comes out firing, and Indiana will strike back with some touchdowns, especially early on. But I think at the end of the especially towards the middle of that second half, Ohio State's just going to start running away with it. Give me Ohio State.
I could totally see it being one of those games where it's close at the start and then
just fall.
Ohio State makes the defensive adjustments.
I think very similar to what we saw out of that Vandy Tennessee game last week.
Yeah, it's just back and forth for a little bit, and then one team runs away.
Yep. All right. Woo.
I can see that.
Long episode, a lot of games, a lot of football to talk about. Hopefully it'll be a really good weekend of football on championship weekend. And then when we see you next, the playoff bracket will be set. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about bowl games, all that other stuff coming next week. As always, thank you for watching.